Hi everybody, I'm Kathy. Thanks for being here on my channel, this Creator Clarity series. Today is, December 29th. So I hope you had a great Christmas if you're watching this over the holidays or whenever. And we're almost into the new year. So somebody asked a question in my creator group the other day about, they said they hadn't been feeling the connection to their family, their entourage, their crew, whatever you call it, your dream team. Basically, whether it's the angelic realms, archangelic, the ascended hosts, your guides, we are always being supported with non-physical helpers. And many of you might have listened to the Shavasana that I created called Light Family, which was made specifically to help people kind of walk them through connecting with those different levels of consciousness. The thing about feeling disconnected, I wanted to just make a video about it today for everyone because for myself personally, December is just year after year, it's always been a tough, energetic month for me. And there's a lot of reasons for that, as well as a lot of ways that I kind of glide through it. So I wanted to share that today. First of all, the connection with your family. If you're accustomed to, feeling, sensing, communicating with, talking to your non-physical family, you might notice that when you go through energetic shifts, that connection can feel gone. And also a lot of people will say during that time that they don't feel connected, like they don't feel so connected to themselves. And before I even go into all of this, I'm going to share my perspective and my experiences, but just remember it's different for everyone. So if you listen to other people talk about these things, please don't try to put yourself in a box or compare it too closely, because I've heard just like so many different ways people describe feeling, sensing, and going through these changes. So feeling disconnected, feeling discombobulated, not feeling your family, not feeling connected to yourself. When we're going through embodiment, we are taking what is not physical, consciousness, creating energy with it and bringing it through the body. The body itself being a physical vessel, it has to go through this process in little bitty stages over and over again. So integrations. And so you may already be aware of this pattern in yourself, or this might help you to become more aware of it. And so hopefully you can accept it more, embrace it more, and feel more comfortable with it. So for myself personally, probably 2 to 4 times a year, I go through these big energy shifts. I'm going to call them guide changes, where you hit a new level of expansion. You will say you traverse, you supersede, you walk through, you dance through, you flow through whatever is coming forward for you. And then as you wrap it up, you go through whatever new experience. Maybe it's conversations that need to be had, maybe it's new beginnings, maybe it's endings, whatever. As you wrap up whatever is right in front of you, meaning you just you deal with whatever you got to deal with, or you create what you're going to create, or whatever that is for you. What happens is when we go through guide changes, you have all this family, right? And if you're a Crimson Circle person, if you've a lot of the people that watch this are Crimson Circle fans, then you'll know Adamus Saint Germain has said, like, you don't have guides anymore. Well, you do. You're the guide of the guides, but they're still there to help you. So it's not like they just go away. Actually, you become more and more and more aware, the more embodied you are, of all the energies and entities around you. But so, as you go through life, you have certain, we'll say, things to deal with, right? And you're going to have guides that are there assisting you. Now, not in the old way, like, help me, like you're praying to them to take care of your stuff, but they are already there. You don't even really have to ask them. They're already there assisting you. What happens is they come in and we'll say they're masters in their own right at certain things. And they bring certain energies that they sort of influence you with. You could say they whisper in your ear. They even kind of, they're the closest to us as far as all the different levels of consciousness, because they've been human. They have human skills, you could say. So I will use an example. 6 years ago, I had a massive guide change. This was after, if you've heard my story, my near-death experience, which was a total magnetic unplugging. Speaking of feeling disconnected, and then all new guides coming in. So these guides come in. At this point, one of my guides that came in very clearly was Gandhi. And there was such a level of compassion. There was just this, it was like, it felt like we merged. And actually, for a while, at first I was like, was that a past life of mine? When I took things, we'll say, a little bit more literally and put them in little boxes about consciousness, like now I've come to see that consciousness is not so personal. Like a lot of entities, a lot of beings share consciousness, merge consciousness. There's no walls, there's no barriers. So when we're dancing with our guides, you might feel like them for a while. It's almost like our essences meld and dance, and you can feel what they feel. So when Gandhi came in, I had this tremendous, I was just dripping with compassion. Another one that came in was Abraham Lincoln. And I felt like I was, for moments, it's like I felt like I was this being. So my mind was still trying to put everything into neat little boxes back then. And I was like, was that my past life? And so a lot of people claim to have the same past lives. Well, consciousness, it's hard to put it in these little boxes, but sometimes it could be that these are your guides, okay? And you feel that energy so powerfully, you feel it through you, within you. So they come in, they're sharing their energy, their wisdom, they're helping to kind of influence you, they're supporting you energetically, you could say, because that's what you need for that next leg of your journey. And then you deal with what you got to deal with. So this could be, you might have the same group for 6 months or 6 years. It depends on how fast you are expanding and evolving and the way the world is going right now. And if you're watching my video, then you're probably going through it, more than once a year. And so it's all great because we go through and we deal with whatever. It's like as you transcend the challenges in your life, that's a great feeling, right? You whether it's work or personal or whatever, you feel expansive, okay? You feel empowered. You feel there's a sense of expansiveness, joy, fulfillment, excitement, all that great stuff, especially as we kind of wrap up whatever is in front of us as the current stuff to walk through. And then you have expanded. It's almost like you've taken these energies that the dear ones brought. We'll use Gandhi again because that was just such a cool experience. It's like you have now embodied that compassion. You don't need that guide there kind of radiating it towards you, sharing it with you. You've embodied it, and so you haven't just read about it, you haven't just thought about it, you haven't just talked about it on a video or with friends, but most likely you've gone through things in your life. Like whatever, somebody treating you poorly and you having compassion for them, or if you're a facilitator, you're not pitying anyone, because with true compassion, you can see the beauty in their struggles and how they're helping to get their attention in whatever way their true essence is guiding them towards. So once you physically walk through situations that require you to bring forth your innate compassion, it's like that compassion in your guide, it's not their compassion, it's not your compassion. It's like compassion is compassion. It's a energy that we've created, you could say, on earth, just like love, through the illusion or the perception of separation. And through that, we've gained great compassion. So it's not like your compassion, their compassion. It's a divine essence that we've created. It's an energy that we've created. And so it's like they kind of help you guide and steer you a little bit and give you that little boost to help you bring forth your own compassion and fully embody it, express it, integrate it, and to live, where the rubber meets the road, to live in that compassion. And once you've done that, for that example of that one guide, and this happens with multiple guides, it's like their job is done. So once you hit a point where you've kind of dealt with whatever's going on and everything is integrated, then they're going to move out. You are bringing in that compassion. You are bringing in more of your light. You're probably recollecting facets, little fragments of your soul self, the oversoul part of you that were split off, that were not compassionate, right? So you're recollecting your own compassionate light consciousness, and then you're bringing in more of your pure source consciousness, and you're expanding. So our guides have been right here all around us, working with us through this, that, this, and that, and this, and that. And then once you have walked through this and integrated it very physically, they're going to move out and make more room for you, because you're expanding now. You're bringing back all this light. But when they move out, it feels like, I call it feels like a magnetic unplugging. It feels like something unplugging right from my belly. For myself, it usually just manifests as instantaneous tears. I might be driving down the road and just like a sob, though, like a gut sob. It can feel for people like depression, loneliness, nothingness, like another void, because they have to move out for you to bring in more of your light. And so there's a space. There's like an empty space, you could call it, that you need to fill up with all of you. So if you go through these phases periodically, and it can be anything, you can feel any way, shape, or form, like you can't get out of bed, or like life is, sad or hopeless or pointless or no motivation. So I swear I usually go through this in December, and I had already gotten the nudge at the end of November to cancel my Shavasanas, to switch it over so I'm not doing 2 a week, and to take a break and start something new next year. And I thought, maybe it'd be like my normal December, where I'm just like basically just like licking the pavement, just kind of like a sloth, trying to just function. And that's been a typical December for me. I never want to write something in stone as a belief and say, this is how I am in December. So I'm always open. But this December was another integration month for me. And like I had been creating audios, videos, this, that for 4 months straight without a real break. And so it hit in December. For me, it feels like, I haven't created this is the first video I've created in like maybe 3 weeks for the, the public YouTube site. So there's no motivation. It's very low. My energies are kind of scattered, but I usually have a few days in there where it's just out of the blue, tears will come up. I turned on some kind of movie or show the other day that was like dramatic, and it just like had me crying, in 2 seconds. So that's just that unplugging. And to my knowledge, that never stops. I mean, you can become fully integrated beyond a sense of a separated self. At least I know my guide, who, has a couple decades under his belt of being, fully merged with himself in oneness, has said, years ago he said that he goes through hundreds of guide changes a year because he's constantly expanding into new dimensions. So I don't know that it ever ends, but I can tell you this, because I'm familiar with the process now. It's like, oh, we're going through guide change. Okay, well, all right. And it makes it easier to surrender to the process, to not beat yourself up, not be like, am I going backwards? What is happening? Why do I feel this way? What did I do wrong? Those are all things that I used to wonder, because it's like all of a sudden you're feeling like shit. So if this resonates with you, then maybe that'll help you go through it more smoothly. So for myself, what do I end up doing? Well, every day for the last 2-3 weeks, I've been like, all right, should we work? And it's like, I don't make videos unless the information is there, and it just flows. It just comes through. And for the last couple weeks, it's like there's just nothing there. It's just a void. There's just nothing there. So I don't try to force anything. So then it's like, well, what can we do? For myself personally, I find a little walking, a little breathing, a little stretching. Maybe it's a shower, maybe it's a bath, maybe it's cooking something. The last couple weeks it's been like going to the store, going to stores I don't normally go to, partially just for the drive. Just go for a drive, walk in, don't really feel like buying anything. So just a little bit of movement, a little bit of activity. The one thing I will caution you is if you feel, a lot of people feel this deep loneliness, almost like fear of abandonment or rejection, or like whatever, that sense of being basically abandoned once again, like we thought we were in separation by God, by whatever created us. It's like that sense of that again. So if you feel that, what I would encourage you to do, and of course, if you want to connect with friends or family, or, do whatever, watch movies or talk to people on the phone, do what you got to do. But I highly encourage that you take some time for yourself and connect with yourself and breathe. It should go without saying that everything I share, everything starts with the foundation of breath and presence. So feeling your breath and feeling your presence. And if you can't do that while you're moving throughout your day, and I would challenge you that you can, first of all, because if I have a busy day where I'm out and about, it could be dozens or 100 times a day, I take a breath and feel my presence and just really feel my beingness. But if you have a really hard time with that, then, maybe it's taking time, it's just sitting. And I'm being reminded here that a lot of people come into these periods where there's like, you just don't want to do anything. You might just be content staring out your window for like hours, other than a potty break and maybe a cup of coffee or something, or just watching music videos. Just do that then. If there's something that's really calling to you, and if it's nothing, and if it's quiet and it's silence, for sure do that, because it's when we're not thinking that our energy can reintegrate, can download, come back, really reintegrate mind, body of consciousness. So if you're feeling like I should be working, I should be doing more, I should be accomplishing more, let me assure you, the fastest way through integrations like this is acceptance and surrender. So like, of of course, the last few weeks, there were times I'm going, oh my God, I'm not going to create anything again. It's like, okay, well, what can we do? You know? And for me, like I said, it might just be driving to the store to, I don't know, buy like a thing of creamer and then driving home. You know, these little things that we'll call it pointless, simple stuff. That is really just about you being in your own flow. So, guide changes. Yeah. So, when you feel that disconnect from your family, it's like, it's a thing to celebrate. If you're feeling disconnected from yourself, from your family, it really is a thing to celebrate. You know, when you are going through embodiment, it moves in and out. It moves in and out, and it moves in and out. And sometimes when you're here, you feel very disconnected. And then sometimes when you're here, it's like everything is flowing. One other thing I will add when I'm going through these, when I'm not fully integrated, when I'm still going through a lot of the changes, it's like nothing just seems to work very good. It's almost pointless to try and do stuff when the energy's not ready. So just for example, I one of my little drives yesterday was to the UPS place to return like 6 things from Amazon that I had ordered just about a week prior. And it's like I ordered a few shirts and some merino wool socks and just stuff like that. And it was like, sure as shit, everything I opened, none of it worked. And I kind of started chuckling because, you know, I've been integrating. And it's like, I still have that human tendency. It's like, there's things I want to get done. There's, you know, I was excited about starting my new Everyday Life as Creator program and getting to work on that. But every time I went to do it, it was just like, you can just feel the energy it's just not ready, you know? So I would say if you're experiencing stuff like that, just be aware of it. And always, whether it's work or starting a new project, or feel into the energy of it, you know? And if it's something that you know you want to do and it's not ready, then just breathe and just, you know, like I'll say, all right, guys, prep me. Today's not the day, but get me all ready. Like, what can we do? How can I best dance with this? And a lot of times I'm going to say once again, things that to my very practical mind things that seem silly or unimportant. Might be just dancing to some music, or, you know, watching some Netflix, or just like cleaning the house when it doesn't even need to be cleaned, or whatever. But it's about keeping that energy moving. So, and that is another thing that you can do when the mind isn't you know, so integrated and ready to go, is move your body a little bit. I just shared a gentle yoga stretch video that I made for my Everyday Life as Creator group, that I made just because I hadn't really made any videos for like a month. I did all the videos that we had agreed to do, but I wanted to do a holiday one and thank everybody, but it was like, there wasn't anything good coming through, so I did a gentle yoga stretch from head to toe to help you connect with your body, and just connecting with your body and breathing like that helps the energies to integrate. So it's another thing you could do. If you are interested, we are starting another group. We've got a good group together already for our January, February topic, isness. And we have a wonderful, beautiful, safe space, we'll say, to share experiences, share wisdom, to ask questions. I do a couple channeled videos where I tune in to the group energies, and I bring through specifics that are unique, individual, and for the whole group. And then we also do a few Zoom calls, like about every 2 weeks we get together, and it ends up being 1 to 2 hours where everybody's got a chance to ask questions, share experiences, and there's a huge amount of wisdom as well within the group. So it's kind of nice because everybody gets a chance to share or express, however. Yeah, and then I do some Shavasana, so the energetic journeys, the audios, and then a bit more, like I just did that little stretchy video, which was just for the fun of it. But it's a private group. If you feel like exploring it, it's on my homepage at kathybauman.com, where you can get more information or sign up or let me know if you have any questions. And otherwise, I hope you're dancing with the December energies. I really do hope you've been dancing with them. And again, everybody goes through integrations at different times. Of course, we can't all be going through it at the same time, so it's all kind of spaced out with us all to create a whole balance, right? But if you have experienced a lot of the intense energies, it's all kind of the same. The answer is always to surrender, right? Allow it to be what it is, and not get preoccupied by it, not beat yourself up. Realize that you didn't do anything wrong, or there is nothing wrong going on, that it's natural, that it's normal, it's part of the process of embodying. And if you are one of the people that have chosen, this is my lifetime for full realization, and then I want to go play it in the universe wherever, then you're going to be experiencing that a lot. And so it's important to kind of ride those waves with just allowing and gentleness, and you can still live your life. Might not be working. You might not be able to take your mind and hone it into the area you want to, because there's a focus and an effort that goes into that is hard during those times. But hopefully you can find other ways to enjoy yourself. Being creative, whether it's going, get your nails done, or facial, or go to the gym, or go swimming, or whatever kind of things just sort of sound like pampering. It's good to pamper yourself during those integration times, and just remind yourself that just with everything to do with emotions and energies here, it'll pass. It's just going through, energy's just doing its thing, and it's gonna pass through. So when you feel that disconnect, when you feel disconnected internally, or maybe from your family, or if you feel the heavy waves, however you experience the unplugging and the energy moving out, whether it's a void or depression or sadness or anger or whatever, if it's any of those intense energies, take a breath and remind yourself that the reason you're going through that is because you're stepping into a new level, a new way of being, because you've transcended a lot. And welcome in your new crew to dance with you and jam with you. And it's like for a few days or weeks or however long, it might feel like, oh my goodness, but it will pass, and you'll be off onto your next adventure. So be kind to yourself, and just remember, you can't screw this up. You can try. You can slow down. You can you can procrastinate a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. There's no pass or fail. And in the blink of an eye, everything can shift in a day. So one day you can be feeling utterly, and the next day the sun's shining, it's like it never happened. So allow yourself to be that flexible. Don't hang on. Yesterday was this way, today, let everything be anew always, and be open to just embracing however you feel. And if you need to wake up in the morning and say, I'm alive, it's a great day, I'm happy to be here, that can help too. I do those tricks when I'm going through heavy stuff. It's like, all right, let's go, bring on the day. Create a little celebration for yourself. All right, thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.